All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Los Angeles Chargers in tonight's video. This is a 5-3 team coming off a dominant 27-10 road victory against the Cleveland Browns this past Sunday. They are the #1 scoring defense, giving up less than 13 points per game. They also lead the league in defensive success rate, defensive EPA, and they just held the Cleveland Browns to 3.8 yards per play this past Sunday. There's this weird. Los Angeles is currently 5-3. Got a really nice matchup against Tennessee in a couple of days. There's this weird precedent in today's era of sports in general, but especially football, where if you're not 8-0 like the Kansas City Chiefs are, or if you're not winning like 41-0 every single football game, people always critique. The Los Angeles Chargers are 5-3. Justin Herbert is playing some of the best football we've ever seen him play, and they don't even ask him to do too much. The Chargers rank first in both defensive EPA per play and successful play percentage allowed. Their defense is ranked #1. They're the first team to hold opponents to 20 or fewer points in each of their first 8 games since the New England Patriots did it 5 years ago. Opposing quarterbacks have a 75 passer rating. If defense wins championships, the Los Angeles Chargers have a very, very, very bright future. Bosa isn't even close to fully healthy. This team is just stepping up. And before we get into it, welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking more so ranting about the Los Angeles Chargers in tonight's video. But before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Post at least one Chargers video every single week. So Chargers fans, if you try and get this video to 250 likes, folks, that would mean the absolute world to me. No moves at the deadline. You're 5-3 here. And that's the thing. This is Harbaugh's first year. Right, so people were expecting, all right, maybe they go out there, they trade for Deontay Johnson, maybe they even go out there and get like an Adam Thielen with the Carolina Panthers because, they need a little bit more help in the wide receiver room. And, Ladd McConkey's done a phenomenal job. Quentin Johnston in his sophomore campaign's done a phenomenal job. He just had a phenomenal game. We'll talk about it in just a second. But this is a process. They're creating a blueprint on kind of, they're building a team to take down Kansas City and this Patrick Mahomes Chiefs dynasty. They've got a really good young group of tackles. They have a really good quarterback. They got a really good running back, and they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. So, the tight end will come in the offseason. The star wide receiver, the first round draft pick wide receiver, that'll come in due time. This is a process. And in year one, halfway through the campaign, Los Angeles is really good 5-3. And some of those losses, like Kansas City, that was just a bad, stupid loss. That Steelers loss. There is one big flaw that they have, and it is the interior offensive line. And when you take on teams like Pittsburgh with that defensive front, Kansas City, that defensive front, they're going to take advantage. And we kind of saw it a little bit on Sunday, where Justin Herbert was sacked 6 total times. But before we get into all that, on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns, the unit allowed only a second quarter field goal and a late game touchdown while limiting Cleveland to only 292 yards, including only 57 yards across 6 first half drives. Even though they gave up 6 sacks, they also posted 6 sacks, 3 interceptions, and limited Jameis Winston to a 56.5 completion percentage on 46 attempts. Defense was great. Khalil Mack, even at age 33, has been phenomenal. 91.8 overall grade, ranks 3rd amongst all edge defenders in the NFL. His 92.1 PFF defensive mark is 2nd in the NFL amongst edge rushers. Elijah Molden, 85.3 PFF overall grade, including a 79.5 grade or better in run defense, tackling, and coverage. He's allowed just 9 catches for 78 yards allowed all year. Elijah Molden, really good example of people you just don't know. Most people, unless you're a Chargers fan or maybe like an AFC West fan, you probably have no idea who Elijah Molden is, and he's a baller. But the point is, as a team, they're just playing so well defensively. Now, offense, This is eventually going to be the bread and butter, all right? Justin Herbert's coming off a perfect passer rating, 282 yards. He had 250 at halftime. He finished 18 of 27 for 282 yards on the day. J.K. Dobbins, the running back, 14 carries, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's 6.1 yards per carry against a pretty solid Cleveland Browns defense, especially their defensive front. Herbert also had 2 explosive touchdowns in the opening 2 quarters, one to Josh Palmer, the other to Quentin Johnston. The issue, and this is why they're not perfect, is the offense has not been able to put together like 4 consistent quarters, or even on a half-to-half basis. It was 20-3 at halftime. And the final score, even though the Browns had a garbage time last second touchdown, the final score is 27-10. The game felt like it easily should have been 45-10. We just need to see the consistency in the offense for an entire game. And Justin Herbert has been sacked at least 3 times in each of the past 4 games. He's been sacked multiple times in 6 games. He was pressured on 47.1% of his dropbacks against the Browns. So it's not perfect. And a lot of these flaws are coming in at the interior offensive line. But once again, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. This is a process. And if year one, like half of the first year, if it's any indication of future concerns of the interior offensive line or wide receiver help or tight end help or whatever, that will all be addressed in due time. They gained just 1 first down on their first 5 drives. They did pick off Jameis Winston 3 times in the second half. They also had a turnover on downs, but they didn't score on any of those 4 turnovers. So once again, it's not perfect. Justin Herbert does only have still 1 interception on the season. They have not asked him to do much. He has not needed to do too much. They got a really good run game. Quentin Johnston, 4 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown this past game against the Browns. Ladd McConkey, 5 catches, 64 yards. Josh Palmer, 2 catches for 63 and a touchdown. The wide receivers are improving on a week-to-week basis, and that's just kind of the point with this Chargers team. They're improving in a game-to-game, week-to-week basis. So good test against a good defense this upcoming week, but not a good offense, Tennessee Titans. And then things get very interesting where you got the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, Atlanta, the Kansas City Chiefs. You got Tampa Bay, you got Denver. It's like a 6 or 7 game stretch that are just a lot of really good opponents. So that's why a win against Tennessee this upcoming Sunday to get to 6-3 would be absolutely huge. But folks, that's it for me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But folks, especially my Chargers fans watching this video, let me know your thoughts on this team about halfway through the season down below. Peace.